Hey guys, I'm Jason Vallotton, and this is my wife Lauren.
Hello.
And we are excited to come and talk to you today. Lauren and I are both excited about relationships. We're excited about emotional health and providing places for people to actually learn. And so today we want to talk to you a little bit about dating, relationships, and you can even take the content here and put it into just normal relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to stick within inside of a dating relationship,
Right.
but a lot of the principles that we'll talk about today work just for relationships in general. So
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoy the video. And but we want to start out just by talking about some healthy guidelines for a relationship. And this is one of our topics,
Yeah.
favorite topics.
Yeah, we
So,
love talking about dating and marriage and family and all of that. Whenever we speak together or do random Instagram live videos, we always get lots of questions and really good feedback when we talk about these subjects, so we figured we'd go for it here.
Yeah. One of the first things that we have to realize about relationship, and I feel like a lot of people have this misconception. They think that marriage especially, but also dating and even friendship is full of happiness, joy, peace, harmony.
Yeah, like when you find a good relationship, it's like this box of goodies that you get to open up and discover.
And more often than not, what we realize over time is that relationship in and of itself isn't full of happiness, joy, acceptance, peace. Rather, people are full of that or not. And so what we want to make sure of right away going into a relationship is you want to first, or before you go into a relationship, is you want to first ask, where am I at?
Yeah.
Because you can't give away anything that you don't actually have.
Yeah.
And I think I find a lot of people coming into my office for counseling, and they have questions about why the relationship didn't work out or what's wrong with the other person, but they haven't actually looked inside and said, how am I doing?
Yeah.
Am I going to bring into a relationship, whether it's dating or a friendship,
Yep.
something that we can pull out peace, joy, conflict resolution, things
Yeah.
like that.
The point is that you really only get out of relationship what you put into it. So if you're coming into the relationship healthy and whole, then you have health and wholeness to bring to a relationship, and that's what you'll experience. Similarly, if you're coming into a relationship and you're working really hard on building trust, then you're going to experience the life that having a trust-filled relationship brings. So that's one of the main guidelines, is just actually understanding the paradigm that relationship and what you get out of it has everything to do with what you bring into it.
Right.
And then the other guideline that we always like to talk through is the reality that relationships actually require, healthy relationships, I should say, actually require a decent amount of intentionality.
They
and
do.
people in our generation, people this day and age.
What age is that, babe?
I mean, I'm 32, so I don't know anywhere in there. People in our day and age really love to think that healthy relationships, like my favorite, most fulfilling relationships, are just going to happen so organically, and I'm going to be drawn to the right person, and the right person is going to find me, and
The soulmate.
Yeah.
We're just going to run in and have
Yeah.
this beautiful connection.
some sort of like cosmic thing is going to happen, and our paths will, and whatever, like maybe that happens to some degree.
It can.
But actually relationships require a ton of intentionality.
It's true.
I don't like to leave things to chance when it comes to my marriage, my relationship with my kids, my relationship with my best friends. I'm not relying on some like cosmic external force to make sure that we
Right.
actually have a fulfilling friendship. I'm intentional. I bring energy, time, commitment. I bring those things to the table, and I
Yeah.
pursue the relationships in my life that are the most important to me. I pursue with a lot of intentionality. I think that's actually, I mean, that's what's modeled to us as far as
Right.
how healthy relationships are meant to go. So those are some good paradigms for entering into a relationship. But there's some great questions that we want to cover in this segment about am I actually ready to date? Like
Right.
before you even think about getting into a relationship, what are some of the questions you should be asking yourself?
Right. The first question that I think is foundational, rock bottom. Do I have my identity worked out? And that, let me just say, that's a huge, sometimes unending question, because we're constantly going from glory to glory, level to level, and working out our identity.
Yeah.
But there are some basic fundamentals. Am I insecure with myself? Do I trust myself? Is God in my God spot?
Yep.
In the sense of He's my source for identity, direction, protection, comfort, love,
Yeah.
things like that. If your identity isn't founded, isn't solid in the Lord, isn't solid inside of yourself, if you're dealing with major insecurity, we're going to have trouble.
Yeah, that's true. Another question is, have I actually worked through my past relationships? So
Right.
if you've been in a dating relationship before, or maybe we're just talking about friendship, if you've had friendships before that have caused you pain, or they've ended poorly, or you've dated someone and it was an absolute disaster,
Yeah.
have you actually gotten to the bottom of, in your head and in your heart, have you gotten to the bottom of why that failed, what happened, what you needed that you didn't get? Or are you bringing a bunch of fear and mystery into your next relationship?
It's true. I think one question that we should all be able to ask ourselves when we're dating is, can I leave somebody better off than when I found them?
Yeah.
And that seems really hard. And I'm not talking about if you were to break up, is there pain or not pain? But honestly, when I started dating you, I knew I was ready to date you when I could leave you better
Yeah.
off.
And I experienced that in our dating relationship. I remember talking to my best friend on the phone saying, I'm never going to do dating the same again. If this guy and I don't actually work out, it's totally fine with me. I'm so much better off than where I started. My standard, my bar is raised
Right.
to such a higher standard that at this point, it doesn't even matter to me if it doesn't work out. I'm changed. So, I mean,
Right.
that was the fruit of him working hard to make sure he didn't push our relationship past where he knew he could leave me better off.
And there's a couple things that really help making sure that you're ready to date, like having control over your emotions
Yeah.
instead of your emotions being in control of you.
Yep.
Emotions are great indicators
Yeah.
that we want something, that we need to have our emotions fully alive.
Yep, that's
but
true.
we don't need to be ran by our emotions.
Yep.
It just pushes the relationship too fast, too far,
Yeah.
or it makes us do things that we wish we wouldn't have done.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think lastly, one of the big questions that we would say before you jump into a dating relationship, Jason always says there's a lot you can figure out about somebody while you're just friends.
Right.
There's actually a lot of questions you can answer just in the friend zone, like hanging out in groups of people,
It's true.
actually spending time together, having fun inside of community. You can answer, can we be best friends? Can we be friends? That's something that you don't have to wait till you're dating someone to answer. So, do you know how to do friendship really well? Are you, before you start dating somebody, have you taken the opportunity to hang out inside of community? That's a great way to answer a bunch of questions. If you're gonna single somebody out, that's when you have to start setting expectations and meeting a bunch of expectations and communicating through a bunch of expectations. So that's a really important next step. But first, just asking, can we be friends? Can we have a good time inside of community? That is one of the most important steps, I think, in creating a foundation for a healthy relationship.
Yeah. So I'd take some time and just review a little bit of where am I at? Do I know how my identity is? Am I able to leave someone off really well? Do I know how to talk through, friendship and explain where I'm at to other people?
Yep.
Just take some time and actually work on, am I prepared for a relationship?
Yep, that's great. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.